Good morning, and thank you for tuning into the Andrew Tate Show, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We've got a great show for you guys today. We're going to be covering Justin Fields and Kenny Pickett, the CFP expansion and revenue sharing, LeBron James scoring record, and make sure you guys stick around for later in the show when we'll be diving into our oddities of the day. Before we start, I'd like to ask that you guys like and follow the show. Also, we get a number of questions from viewers that come in during the show, so to ensure that your question gets read on the air, I ask that you use the tips and donation link with your question. The tips and donation link is GSMCPodcast.net. This puts your question at the top of the list so that I can see it, and it also just really helps the show. Hello, Tate. How are you?
Hello, Miss Faith. How are you?
I'm good. It's Monday, but
This time it's one of those things, guys, where Faith and I normally do our subtleties on air. We ended up talking before, so
Yeah.
It's kind of like, hey, Faith, I already know about your weekend and how it
Yeah.
was and things. So normally we do that on air, but today we had a little extra time, so we ended up talking
Just
off
chit-chatting.
air. Yes. It is a Monday. Let's keep the fingers crossed, no technical issues.
We've been
Let's
doing
have
good the past couple of Mondays, I feel like. So
99 problems, but a computer is not one.
right now.
Let's go that route and let's dive into it.
Okie dokie. So, the NFL had a busy weekend. The Chicago Bears.
Pairs.
Bears.
That's their flag football team. Chicago Pairs.
Yeah. So the Chicago Bears traded quarterback Justin Fields to the Steelers. And then the Steelers also traded Kenny Pickett to the Eagles after Russell Wilson's signing. But let's discuss Justin Fields first. The Bears have traded quarterback Justin Fields to the Pittsburgh Steelers. The teams confirmed in a statement on Saturday. The Steelers sent a 2025 sixth-round pick to the Bears that converts to a fourth-round selection if Fields plays 51% of snaps this season, a source told ESPN's Adam Schefter. Fields, who completed his third season in Chicago in 2023, will join a quarterback room with Russell Wilson, who signed a one-year deal with the Steelers on Friday. Fields is not expected to compete with Wilson for the starting job. Instead, Fields is expected to learn from the Super Bowl winner and 9-time Pro Bowler. In a social media post Saturday, Fields thanked the Bears organization and the city of Chicago for quote, for allowing me the opportunity to be part of such a historic franchise. 2 weeks ago at the NFL Combine, Bears general manager Ryan Poles addressed the idea of a Fields trade publicly for the first time. Poles said he aimed to not leave the quarterback in limbo and hoped to do right by Fields as Chicago determined its quarterback plan for the future. Now, I know that you probably are happy with this decision, but I would love to hear your thoughts on it.
Okay. Starting out, I said the best place for Justin Fields to go was Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
But I also said the best place for Russell Wilson to go was Pittsburgh.
Right.
Never in my wildest dreams, but I think both of them were going to go there. Now, all of a sudden, it's okay. First off, when I saw this, I was absolutely blown away, so much so that I didn't even believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, no, they just traded for Russell Wilson. So no, they didn't do this.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to check another place and then another place. And then I turned to ESPN and there it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what in the hell has happened? I'm like, how did this go down?
Mm-hmm.
Then I saw the trade, which knocked me on my butt.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is, when everyone was talking about Justin Fields getting traded, initially everyone was talking about that he was going to go for a first round pick. Later, they were looking at a late first, early second round pick.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started seeing more and more quarterbacks go off, I'm like, is he going to slide? I'm like, maybe a third, fourth round pick. But when I saw that he went for a sixth round pick, I'm like, impossible,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely impossible. Faith, you could trade me for a sixth round pick. I think I could. You know what? I think you get a sixth round pick and a bag of Skittles, and that's a deal. I do not believe that he went for so little.
Mm-hmm.
That just seems impossible. At that point, if the only thing I could get for Justin Field was a sixth round pick, I'm not trading him.
Mm-hmm.
They gave him away. I just did not understand why the Bears would do that. It's obvious now that they were going to go for Caleb Williams in the draft. That's going to be the first pick in this
Mm-hmm.
overall draft. Uh, but to it's just like completely has just been like, listen, we don't want him in the room. We don't want him on the field. We don't want him part of the team. And I know a lot of people have talked about how you can't have Justin Fields and Caleb Williams in the same on the same team. I would like to know why not. You know, both of them are young guys.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them are vying for the future. You really you have them learn from each other. I wouldn't have done this. No way would I have done this. Um, I don't understand why so many people look at it. Like I look at back that used to be the Redskins, now it's Commanders, when they
Mm-hmm.
drafted Kirk Cousins and Robert Griffin III. And you look out how you don't know what the future may hold. And like Robert Griffin ended up getting injured and things, Kirk Cousins, they end up using him for a while. But I don't look at having two quarterbacks that are developing and are at different points in time in their development, I think is a good thing. It makes it so that if Caleb is not ready to go, you put Justin Field out there. You give Caleb as much time as he needs to adjust to the NFL speed, adjust to the locker room, and things like that. I don't. If you're just going to give him away for pretty much nothing, because that's the kind of way I look at it. As far as even Trey Lance went for a four. I'm just not letting him go for that.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my first take. Then shifting the gears to the Steelers. My first reaction when I realized that it was real was because I was super happy for Russ. And I'm like, this is the perfect place for Russ. He's their quarterback. He's their quarter. He could, yes, he signed for a very low amount, 1.6 million, but he can really get out there, show what he can do, and then get signed for a longer term agreement with the Steelers. I thought this was a great move for the Steelers and Russ.
Mm-hmm.
Then once I found out about this trade, then I felt bad for Russ because I'm sorry, this is not going to end well for Russ. And here is the reason why. They've already talked about how Russ is going to be the man for this year. But they have Justin Fields as their quarterback of the future.
Mm-hmm.
They want him to learn things like that. But it rarely ever happens that way. Russ comes in, he starts playing. Russ is doing well, or he does poorly. The minute they start losing games, Faith,
Mm-hmm.
when you have the former number one pick on your roster, what are your fans going to be like? Hey, he stinks. Put in
Yeah.
Justin Field. Put in
Yeah.
Justin Fields. The pressure. from week 2 on, to get to see Justin Fields is going to be a real thing. I don't feel like Russ will ever have a chance to really showcase his skills for an entire year. I'm already predicting by mid-season, there's going to be a major, it could be way earlier than that, but by mid-season, there's going to be a quarterback controversy because the media, everyone wants this. They live for controversy. So the Steelers go on a back-to-back losing streak.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone has them. Everyone is going to want put him down, bring in Justin Fields. Justin Fields can lose games just as well as Russell Wilson. Go for the young kid. Go for the young kid. There's going to be a lot of pressure to get rid of Russ and bring in a young kid. It's kind of like when New England had Cam Newton after Tom Brady left and they brought in Mac Jones. Training camp, instantly, everyone wanted to know Mac Jones. They want to see Mac Jones. They want to see Mac Jones. There was so much controversy, so much going on. Eventually, Cam Newton was released. Mac Jones became the starter because everyone wants to see what the young guy can do. He's the new shiny toy.
Mm-hmm.
Russ is okay. You got a Honda Civic that you've been driving, but you just got delivered, your new Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
And you're driving around. Everyone's like, dude, don't pick me up in the Civic. Pick me up in the Mercedes. Am I right? He's that young, flashy, sports car.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. I don't think this is going to be a great place. And Russ, the consummate professional, he's like, let's go. That quarterback room is going to be amazing and things like that. But Russ has to know all the pressure's on him now.
Mm-hmm.
Russ had a good year last year. People don't realize it. Look at the numbers. Russ's year was a good year. It wasn't a great year, but it was a good year. And he just ended up in a bad situation because Sean Payton really didn't want him there. That wasn't his guy. Well, guess what? It's the same situation, but the difference is Russ is only making 1.6 million. So there's no, hey, we have to pay this guy.
Mm-hmm.
With the pressure coming on, Russ could still have an even better year than he had last year and still get benched or still get released because people in Pittsburgh, people in Northeast Ohio, that's that whole area is the Pittsburgh, Cleveland area. I grew up there. They're going to be clamoring because everyone's going to want to see Justin Fields. Also, that Pittsburgh, Northeast Ohio area where that fan base is at, like I said, I grew up there. That is Ohio State country.
Mm-hmm.
And Justin Fields, being an Ohio State quarterback, is absolutely loved in that area. So you have, the prodigal child coming home. Russ is not their future. What do you see when Russ starts losing a game? Pittsburgh's not good enough to go, 13-4 or something like that. Pittsburgh's going to lose games.
Mm-hmm.
They're, even with Russ, they're a 7 to 10 win team, meaning there's too many losses in there. They're going to want Russ out. The fans, the media are going to want Justin Fields in. It's a bad place for Russ right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see that, especially when you look at the area? And like I said, I grew up there, born and raised in Northeast Ohio, on the border with Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
They're crazy. There's pretty much two types of fans, either the Browns fans or either the Steelers fans, but they're all Ohio State fans. And Justin Fields is an Ohio State quarterback who is loved.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you going to want to see?
So essentially, like it's good for Justin Fields, but bad for Russell Wilson.
It's a really good situation for Justin Fields because
Mm-hmm.
right now he is brought in as the backup.
Mm-hmm.
You get a possible Hall of Fame guy to work with. I think that's ingenious. Uh, he can learn from Russ. He can go through an entire training camp with Russ, how Russ prepares, how he reads film, what he's doing. So
Mm-hmm.
he could learn from Russ. He can watch Russ. He can do pretty much. He's a more athletic Russ. And so I think that's a nice pairing. I if they stuck with this plan though of this whole year is Russ's team and we're not starting him, I think it would be absolutely ingenious.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, I'm gonna touch on this. Faith just asked me about Kenny Pickett. So I'm gonna she's all sneaky on this one, but I'm gonna touch on it real quick. It was the right move to let Kenny Pickett go. They
Yeah.
traded Kenny Pickett away. Kenny Pickett wasn't the future there. Kenny Pickett, in my opinion, right now is a backup quarterback. Bringing Russ and Justin Field there is a major upgrade. Getting
Mm-hmm.
rid of Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph uh, kind of unclutters that quarterback room, so there's no controversy. The Pittsburgh Steelers have turned the page on this, and they are moving forward with the Russ and Justin Field era and the
Mm-hmm.
Kenny Pickett, Mason Rudolph era, which was quite disappointing, is over, and
Yeah.
it's the right decision.
Okay.
I wrapped that bad boy up with a bow.
Okay. I was just making sure we were running out of time.
Uh, so just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really didn't think about it like being bad for Russ until you brought it up, but I do agree that poor Russell Wilson. Poor he can't catch a break, man.
I don't think I think it's gonna be rough on him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to Justin Fields' home area.
Mhm.
Ohio State is loved in that Northeast Ohio, Western Pennsylvania area.
Right.
Uh, they're going to want to see Justin Fields. I don't the media and the fans are not going to be like, "Hey, they did say this year's Russ's year. So no matter what happens, this is Russ's year." No way they're
Yeah.
not doing it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. They're going
Mhm.
to want Russ. Matter of fact, I think they're going to want Justin Fields before the season even starts.
I'm
Training
sure.
camp,
Yeah.
preseason. If Justin Field
Mhm.
comes out there, he scrambles for a big old play, throws for a touchdown. It's going to be start him right out the gate. I think you got a quarterback controversy starting now.
Mhm. Well, I guess we'll see what happens when the season starts.
Oh, there's going to be a lot. That's going to be a fun story in my book.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're gonna take a quick break, guys, and when we come back, we're gonna dive back into the college football playoff drama of it all, reality TV. So
I like
stick
it.
around, guys.